This is Greg Blake tuning you in on your computer, scarily enough. It's the laundromat, the laundry bag, the lunchroom, whatever the heck we are. This is Heidelberg United Alexander Television, and welcome to the, what the hell is it called, John?
The locker room, Blakey, the locker room.
Now you'll note that Doug Hodgson isn't here, it's J-Fod.
Transformed myself into Dougie.
And
he's away, still recuperating.
He is away. Now look, I know.
This is the longest recuperation in medical history.
It is, but hey, listen, John, you know, seriously, we have to treat this with some sort of sobriety, because poor Doug, now this is the update. I know there's been a lot of people concerned, a lot of our locker room fans, and we've had, is it called the locker room?
Oh, we've been inundated with inquiries at the locker room.
7 or 8 people have asked me on the progress of Doug Hodgson. Now here's the news. He is recuperating at home. He went of course into hospital last week to have the brain transplant. Now unfortunately, he received, it's exactly, the brain rejected Doug, not the other way around. So unfortunately, so what they're hoping to do is get an equivalent sized brain, and they've gone actually to the Borneo, the jungles of Borneo, to try and find a chimpanzee's brain that will actually accommodate the Doug Hodgson persona. So all we can say from the bottom of our hearts, I know it goes for the club and from you and I, but Doug, good luck with the brain transplant. Hopefully you'll come back no less intellectual and stimulating as you were before you left the program.
Here's a worry for me, Blakey. I've seen a few of his comments over the last few days on Facebook. He's actually making sense. And that's a worry.
Well, that's a serious concern in itself. Look, more to the point is, Doug, you silly middle-aged fat man, seriously, if you're well enough to be Facebooking, you're well enough to be here, and I'm really not impressed. J-Fod, thank you for coming. And just
he's got a hard up, doesn't he?
He really does hard. I mean, he's carried the hard man tag. Sweetie, stop fiddling with your pants while Sweetie behind the camera tonight doing a terrific job. But don't distract us with pants. We've had enough of that prior to the show. J-Fod, I'm looking at you.
We've got to thank, of course, our wonderful sponsors, Kinney Live.
No pants section there.
The ANZ Bank Northland. Don't forget the.
Don't go in there without your pants.
Indeed. Petter Suspension.
It's a pantsless organisation.
And Prime Plastic Bags.
Well, they're full of pants.
That's where you put your plastic bags.
Absolutely.
After you've used them.
We've got a lot to talk about. It's really gross.
Oh, it's a big show.
It's a big show. We've got to talk about the wash up to the weekend. I've got a few opinions as well. But look, we've just in recent times, it's been an odd dichotomy, hasn't it, that we haven't been able to get too many guests on. But we're really thankful that just to add a bit of spice, a bit of fuel to the fire, a bit of an extroverted opinion, we've invited along Andy Bazikas again. Andy, welcome back to the locker room.
Hello, Greg. Tom. How are you?
Man of many words is Andy.
He's fantastic. Andy, you saw the weekend's game. What were your thoughts?
Yes, it was good.
Anyway, look, thanks for that. Andy Bazikas with us as a fill-in guest. He's a terrific character. Let's, John, J-Fod,
yes.
Let's have a talk about the weekend. Now, of course, you and I, me well, you not so much, called the game for Heidelberg United Alexander Television. And look, actually, in all sincerity, thank you for filling in and doing
always
a terrific job.
Always a pleasure.
If you ever correct me on air again, I will smash your
teeth. I may live to regret that, or I may not live to regret it, as the case may be.
But it was, look, honestly, and this is talking from a less passionate point of view in terms of Heidelberg United Alexander. Alexandros there, got you by surprise. Andy, what do you think?
Alexandros.
Thanks, Andy. Good contribution. He's not getting paid for this, is he, sweet? Seriously. But look, from an entertainment point of view, I actually thought that was the most engaging game I've seen this season. It was fantastic.
It was amazing finish. 4 goals in the last 15 minutes of real-time play, and unfortunately 3 of those were against the Burgers. But from I guess from a neutral point of view, you couldn't have asked for a more grandstand finish, I guess.
It was fantastic. Well, it was great to call as well. Now, a lot of controversy about it. Will take us quickly through the sequence, Joe.
What happened, of course, first half, Heidelberg started pretty much on the back foot for the first, say, 25 minutes. And we did make the point in the commentary that our striker, Sasha Alexovsky, was going to ground too easily. And you actually made the point, you know, why doesn't he just stand up and play the ball? And of course, as soon as he
That was my moment of coaching genius.
it was indeed, because he of course provided the corner for the first goal, which was tucked away by Arthur Papp after a header by Evan Christodoulou, and then that was on 35 minutes or so. And then 5 minutes later, we took an even bigger 2-0 lead when Sasha Alexovsky gave an assist to Evan, who, beautiful left foot curling shot, made it 2-0. So half time, we're a cock-a-hoop, 2-0 up, looking forward to perhaps the first home win of the season. Second half, pretty much the same story once again, with Bentley dominating play in the midfield, but really not creating too much until about the 78th minute, and they pulled one back at the far post, and we were saying, oh, this is going to be a tough finish now, because they're going to throw everything forward. Well, wouldn't you know it, 10 minutes later, their keeper Thomas, absolute howler, gives the ball away to Evan Christodoulou. He tucks it away, makes it 3-1. We're thinking in the comm box and around the ground, this could be the day where the season turns around. And we're making the point, can the boys hang on? Of course,
The answer was.
Of course, as it turned out, they've nicked one goal back just on the death, and then in injury time, an equaliser. So you could say, I guess, the boys were gutted with a draw. First home point of the season, but you've got to think that's 2 points that we let go.
Absolutely, but it was an electrifying game. It was genuinely very exciting. And look, actually, I think, given the absences in the senior team, I think it really bodes well for the remainder of the year. And when you think about that, and we're going to talk about the year ahead, because we talked in the commentary on Sunday, we've talked about it a number of times. The one thing about football seasons of any code, in any place, you've always got that illusion that there's always next week and there's always time and all that. Yeah. But right now, it is definitely, the season gets away from Heidelberg United unless they can put a couple together. But before we talk about the season ahead, thanks to ANZ, Petters, Prime Plastic Bags and Canexi Live, it is Jay Fod, it is Blake on deck. I'm just going to take you up, and so I'm going to give you a bit of homework this week. It was really quirky that you mentioned cock-a-hoop. What the hell does that mean?
Oh, it means ready to celebrate, pretty much.
But where does it derive from?
Any
idea?
No correlation between cocks and hoops from my point of view.
Probably something to do with roosters, I guess.
I have no ideas. Look, if anybody knows what cock-a-hoop means, anyway, it was a fascinating turn of phrase.
It was indeed. But as I said, Blakey, fascinating end to the game. Marvellous game to call, because full of excitement.
And you were with me, of course, which makes everything
and Sweetie.
special.
And but the only thing was, we were probably on the wrong end of the result. Would have been fantastic had the boys been able to hold on and record the 3 points and take it away. But let's go to the results, I guess, from round 9.
That, I believe, is your psychologist ringing through with the... No, that's Dougie.
Hey, we've got a special guest.
Well, an impromptu appearance from Dougie on the locker room. How are you, Sir Douglas?
Blakey, I'm lying in my scratcher. I've got my leg on ice, there's no beer with me, and I'm missing you dearly.
I am missing you. It's like my other heart. My heart's been taken, Doug. It's along with my...
I missed you guys on the weekend. I wish I'd been there, but I will be back very soon. Next week back in the locker room, the Dexter will be there, my friend.
Have your...
I'm there, that's okay, I won't swear, I never do, I'm okay, my drugs are okay, I'm just taking very limited at the moment for the pain, I'm okay.
All right, so Doug Hodgson on the line. This is extraordinary, folks at home on the locker room. This is fantastic stuff. And we were just discussing before, Doug, I'm not sure if you're tuning, Andy Bazikas has had to leave us, so we'll catch you later. Andy was on the show again, Doug.
Good to see Andy back to the movies this time.
Oh, look, he tried terribly hard, Dougie. We're very, very sad to hear that the brain transplant that you received, the brain actually rejected you. I'm wondering psychologically what damage that's done to you, and also the search for the chimpanzee brain to take its place. How's that going?
They couldn't find the chimpanzee, whatever his name was, had to get rid of him, they brought in a mouse.
Fair enough.
And the mouse's brain, they couldn't transplant it, it was very that hard and that tight, that little dot, the microscope, the surgeon meant to say, Doug, you have to make sure you sign me back up, mate, he said, Doug, we'll work on it next week, so...
Well, that's an enormous shame.
Come back eventually.
That's an enormous shame. It was probably as much as the mouse's brain was intellectually probably too much for you to handle, I would have thought. So.
Hopefully his spelling might be better than mine. It makes it a bit worse. As long as they can actually pronounce these Greek names on match day, I reckon they'll have half a chance of coming back. You know, Chipolopoulos, there you go, Chipolopoulos. That's that one.
All right, could you just be silent for a short time, Doug? Doug Hodgson.
Probably not possible.
Okay, fair enough. So Doug Hodgson, an impromptu visit, and in all sincerity, we do miss him, and we hope you're feeling a little bit better. Please be quiet, okay? Because we're talking about we're talking about the weekend game. Just quickly, a couple of points I want to make, Jay Fott, about the weekend's game. Now, a couple of supporters on the weekend made an effort to talk to me in a fairly animated way. And there seems to be this rule of thumb that the game was that there was 8 minutes of time added on for stoppages. This is a myth and a rumour, and it's kind of stupid. The fact of the matter is the game went 94 minutes, or the second half went 49 minutes, absolute tops. So stop being melodramatic, okay? It was a great game, and you coughed up a couple of goals in your time. Now the second thing is, I'm not going to name you, dude. I'm not going to name you, but who was the clown that decided to run out on the paddock and remonstrate with the referee? You arse clown! Do you have any idea that you may be jeopardising the club in terms of fines or loss of points? Use what God gave you and took away from Doug Hodgson. Use your brain, son!
This is very disappointing end to, albeit a disappointing finish in terms of copying up the 2 goals, but that's not going to win you any points anywhere. That's only going to jeopardise the club potentially and causes problems. So totally agree, 200% with you if that's possible.
It's actually not possible, but
Blakey, I can't sit in me scratch and just listen to that, mate. I've got to put me 2 bob billion, mate. That could be the difference between staying up or going down. Did they ever think about that?
Obviously not.
Obviously they're not the deep, thoughtful person that you are, Dougie. So,
it's disappointing when I was at Thunder. It cost, me and Stuart at Thunder, we had the same sort of issue. We love the passion that the supporters bring, though, Greg, as you know, mate, but, there's not room there for the error of the stupidity in this. You love your passion, bring it out there, but, mate, don't bring the club into jeopardy of losing points. And the FFV, mate, they will throw the book at us.
well, let's keep fingers crossed they don't. I'm not sure they've even noticed at this point, Dougie. As you can see, everybody, folks at home, Doug Hodgson has been miniaturised. He is now a robot version of Doug Hodgson. He's that tiny little thing just there. Anyway, Robot Doug, stay with us. We're going to go through now. We've talked about Heidelberg's 3-3 draw with Bentley Greens. Let's quickly, Jay Fott, if we can run through all the results of round 9 of the Victorian Premier League season.
Okay, last weekend we saw Oakley 1, draw with Dandenong 1. Richmond 0 were defeated by Hume 2. Green Gully 0 were defeated by the Melbourne Knights 1. Southern Stars 2 defeated Moreland Zebras 1. And South Melbourne 0 were defeated by Northcote City 1.
And as you mentioned, Northcote City on quite a roll at the moment.
Roll,
Let's just quickly run through the ladder as it stands after 9 rounds of the Victorian Premier League season. It's Dandenong Thunder on 23 points yet to be defeated. Oakley Cannons, of course, on 17. Bentley Greens 16. Hume City 16. And Northcote City now move up into the top echelon with 16 points. Green Gully 15. South Melbourne 11. Southern Stars 11, Richmond 10, Melbourne Knights 9, Heidelberg United 5, and the Moreland Zebras 4. And we've discussed the context of the season. We've got the Moreland Zebras. We'll talk about games to come. Our next game against the Moreland, and I say A because we're all part of one great big family.
Alexandros
nearly got you. Thank you, Mini Doug.
A bit of a time delay there with the technology.
Isn't Mini Doug really cute? I actually think he's more attractive in his little robot box there than he is in real life. That's actually inarguable, I would have thought. Anyway, my point is, I have no point, and that's the good thing about this. It could go anywhere at any time. ANZ Bank at Northland, fabulous people. Petta's Suspension, of course. Our Prime Plastic Bags. Billy out there doing a fantastic job. Billy sends his best regards as well. He actually was going to send a couple of plastic bags in there for you in case you needed them with your hospital belongings.
They could have helped me, though, Blakey. Them plastic bags could have helped me for the ice on my knee.
Either that or your lovely wife could have put you just completely out of misery by whacking one over your head and tying a knot in it. And kids at home, I don't recommend you try that at all. Uncle Greg was just being a silly Billy, wasn't he?
Indeed. And we've got to thank Kinnisi Live, before I forget. Great function that they held for the club last Friday.
Tell us a little bit about the function,
Well,
James, the one that I wasn't invited to,
was-
by the way. Hey, but good thing is, I was busy anyway, so I don't care.
I actually didn't get to it myself, but
Okay,
on
so
all
you
reports.
were flogging a function that neither of us went to.
Well, I
Doug,
was,
did you go to...
No, mate, I was just coming out of the theatre, mate. Hey, tell Johnny.
it was in another function.
I was there for function, but why didn't you lock?
Yeah, why didn't you lodge it?
Mate, I was seeing the other yellow and black team last Friday night at the Etihad Stadium.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's another football code, though. We won't talk about.
Consider not thinking about the dates when they do the order.
Indeed,
For
indeed.
the festive, you know.
And see, there's another myth that we have to bust now, because I was of the understanding you were caught pantsless at Club 77, so how wrong can you be? I do apologise.
In all seriousness, thanks to Kinnisi for hosting the club, and all the proceeds do go towards the club funds this year.
And everybody that was at that function were cock-a-hoop, by the way.
Oh.
Doug, we've got a bit of a controversy going on. If you can come up with the origins of the terminology cock-a-hoop, little robot Doug, see if you can do that for us.
Cock-a-hoop's not a bad sign. That means someone messed up.
Oh, really? Okay, so we've got a different interpretation of it. Well, lucky you're not here, because JFOT says it's something... Anyway, look, we digress. Okay, we've been through the ladder. Now, the key here is that Heidelberg United Alexander are now 2 games, in reality 2 clear games, off the relegation, or off avoiding relegation. So, and we mentioned at the top of the program, or I mentioned it anyway, I don't remember many things that you say, it's pretty much all about me. But, we... Sorry, little
Sorry,
mini
Rob.
Doug. Little mini Doug.
Don't think it means.
Yeah.
You're always on our
I,
thoughts, Dougie.
It is. It's critical now. It is go time. We're 9 rounds in. They've got to beat the Moreland Zebras in the next home game. Simple.
No question about it. You've got to pick up the 3 points and put pressure on the teams above. Otherwise, come halfway, you'll be left with too much to do. And this week, of course, we see cup action. So the next game will be on Sunday week against Moreland, which are the team on the bottom of the ladder. So you would think that if ever the team possibly needed 3 points, this is it. It's crunch time. No question.
Just quickly, the cup game at the weekend for fans, Heidelberg United fans.
Alexandros!
Who want to go. What did you just do, Doug?
We forget there's a 7-second delay for Dougie, of course. But the cup match, for those of you that want to get down there, is played away at Diamond Valley, which is at Partington Flats in Greensboro. I don't have the exact address, but get on Facebook, get on the website.
Now, is that a Saturday or a
Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. kickoff,
And they're playing
and they're playing Diamond Valley United, which are a team that's in State League 2.
Yep, I looked that up today.
Yes,
so that should be, you would think, a fairly easy kind of journey into the... Just say it
Cup
is.
matches are always
Oh, God, blow.
good. We've seen many cup matches over the years, but on ladder positions and current form, you'd think the boys should win that.
Okay, and of course, as we mentioned too, just for those of you that are looking forward to the next league game, as the league campaign becomes increasingly more critical for Heidelberg United Alexander, the next home game, as JFOD mentioned, home against the Moreland Zebras. That's on Sunday, June 10th. Sunday, June 17th, in round 10 of the Victoria Premier League. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff here at the Olympic Village. And of course, we'll be calling that game live on the
And Dougie will be back in the box.
Robot Doug, or Big Doug, the big ugly Doug, coming back from his full facial sculpture thing, facelift, everything else. No longer will he have to fear scaring children in shopping centres. Doug's coming back. Doug's coming back looking like Matt Damon.
Return of the Doug.
The return of the Dukes.
Hey, Doug's coming bigger than Ben Earl coming back. Hey, who is better anyway?
He's
the one that knew Cockahoo.
Yep, he was Cockahoo. Spent 3/4 of his life Cockahoo. Had to put him on horse tranquilizers.
Or did he run with mucus?
I don't know what you're saying.
That's called ketamine, Mikey.
All right, this is. Yeah. And I'm astounded that you would know that. Now, look, we've got the rumour file. Haven't
Yes, so a couple of big rumours, and I will neither confirm nor deny, but they're rumours nevertheless, and I'll put them out there. Of course, Andy Vlahos, who hasn't been seen around at the club for the last couple of weeks.
He is very short.
He is very short, but whispers out there tell me that he is joining up with ex-colleagues Mr. Eric Vassiliadis and Pete Roberts down at the Port Melbourne. Good get, Dougie. So I've heard that. So he might be heading Port Melbourne way for the rest of the season. And on the flip side, I'm hearing strong whispers that a certain Anthony Ulyaris, who was a former club captain, is heading his way back to the village come the transfer window.
Now the transfer window opens when, Joe?
July 1st, which is only 4 weeks away.
Now the club is actively seeking players?
Club definitely seeking players and actively needs players because we're struggling in the middle of the park, let's face it. And
I could probably verify that for you, buddy, from behind the scenes. The club is actively looking at players.
What have you got for us, Robot Doug?
There is players, the club, without the rumour, I know of the fact that the club, the committee and the board are looking for certain players to come into place. They've tried Mr. Murphy's trying to bring in certain different personnel, so that is not a rumour. The club is on the high alert, obviously, to bring in players from different categories in different parts of the world.
indeed.
Wow, so the net's been cast rather wide, Robot Doug.
Yes, it's a little bit wiry, but it's the rumour is not a rumour, so hopefully come the deadline of the windows open that there will be some new personnel coming into Alexander.
Now, Doug, honestly, I mean, Sweetie's behind the camera. He's been adjusting his trousers for the last half an hour. I know not why, but he's also made the point to ask you, little Robot Doug, if you know these things, can you name some names?
No.
He's not at liberty.
All right.
No,
Look,
it's not at liberty because, you know, I could say Kenny Dalglish,
but that would be a lie. Yeah. Okay. So you're
no,
dead.
I won't say that I know of the club that I have to admit that, you know, a name has been thrown at the club and from, you know, the name has came from me.
All right, and then.
Club, but is it come off? We don't know, but there is. I know the club's looking elsewhere at other players or who's available, who they can and go get, and going forward. So that's how I can tell you that it is happening.
And these.
Can I name names? No, I can't.
So, and I just need to be reassured, DH, that these aren't ketamine-fueled post-operation dreams, vivid dreams that you're having. This is genuine information.
I'm coming off the vertical. I'm still in my scratcher. I'm still in my pivot and my clutches. I should be off my clutches by the end of this weekend. Drug-free, which is fantastic. I'm only on the exit breaker right yet. Kind of been forward today, which is pretty good.
So you've heard it here first, Dougie Hodgson will be coming back without a brain and also without a crotch. He's going to be crotchless, which is sensational.
You look, Dougie.
The one that I'd like to know about the rumour, Sweetie, Andy Vlahos, has he been around training? Can we find out about that?
Dougie,
No, he hasn't been.
Dougie, the strong rumour, as I said, the strong rumour is that he will be signing or has signed or agreed to terms at least with Port Melbourne, and we'll be seeing out.
Well, I'll be honest, you know, this is not a friend in the town of Andy's, and I just hope he's done the right thing by the club and vice versa, you know, and obviously he's obviously been the club a long time, and I just hope he's left on good terms, and everyone, if he does walk away, and it's all good, and not just walked out and left us, you know, hard and dry for the next 4 weeks. If the committee don't want it, the coach don't want it, then that's fair enough. Let's just hope it's gone and done it on the right way. That's very interesting to find out.
Just so you know, it's little baby Robot Doug Hodgson joining us tonight as special guest. J. Fott Blakey on deck for the locker room on this Thursday night. If you just wondered what the squeaky little noise was, it's little Robot Dougie.
Yeah, we'll get him. As I said, Dougie, probably from Andy's point of view, looking at it from Andy's point of view, it might be a little bit difficult, having been player coach, and now I guess with Kenny Murphy taking over, it might be a little bit difficult for him to remain for at least this season. And I guess if he wants to get a regular game, and he's not been able to get a regular game for the senior squad, maybe a drop down to State League 1 level might be the go for him. And of course, Port Melbourne are coached by former Burger Eric Vassiliadis and with his co-coach Pete Roberts, of course.
If that's the case, then Joy, you wish him well.
Indeed.
All I'm saying is, Pete's been left on that. What's that word, Blakey, when everyone's happy when they walk away?
Mutually agreed decision, I guess. Yeah.
Mutually decision. If that's the case, mate, and it's happened on that front, I hope so, because he's been a great. He's been great for the club, pal, and obviously he's good. And things don't work out. And if Kenny Murphy's not part of his plans, you just wish him well so he goes on to continue playing in his career while he can.
Couldn't have said it better, Dougie.
All right, good folks at home who've just tuned in on their computer, they've decided that they've had enough of boobs and bums for the evening, or whatever the gaming things are. What are they called? World of Warcraft.
Wi-Fi.
And they've just tuned in. I know you're probably thinking to yourselves, this is possibly the most odd thing I've ever seen. A sort of shriveled old man, J-Fod, I'm not even sure how to describe you, a robot, and talking randomly about random things. We'll get stuffed. We're enjoying ourselves.
This is the
locker room. And that's what it is. Now, I just want to mention to you, I've got a plan, Doug. I've got this plan in my head. The plan has been formulating and gestating for about 20 minutes now. I'm just thinking, and quite seriously, good folks, Dougie has been through the wars a little bit lately, getting some collagen in his lips and so forth, and he's not particularly much needed, by the way. But my plan is this, Doug. I'm thinking you need to go to the ANZ Bank in Northland to try and facilitate the amount of money it's going to take to get the medical costs done. Once you exit hospital, you need to see Billy P, get some plastic bags so you can take all your bags from hospital back home to where your good wife's waiting for you. Head over to Peters to get some sort of suspension and support system to replace the crutch that you lost.
Yes.
And then, of course, once all that's done, you can go off to Kinesi Live and enjoy a night out.
That sounds like a plan.
Thank you,
Well,
Doug. Your
that's what he
validation, your validation means everything to me. And just while we've got mini little robot Dougie, just quickly too, how's the boost juice going without your input?
Boost juice is all right. I've been on the phone today. I'm going to try and enforce more people. Boost juice and broadcast is still firing, still good. The phone's still going. I'm lucky enough. I've got the cameras on there, mate. I'm on the computer. I can see all the little maestros are doing to make sure they're working hard. And don't forget, it's also for their safety as well, because that's the main game, their safety to work, make sure they're doing the right thing, and they don't put their hands in the till.
The philanthropist Doug Hodgson, always looking after the interests of other people, unless it comes to getting money out of his pocket. In which case, now if you got J-Fod, any more rumours before we close the rumour
As I said, there was the three rumours that I had. One was, of course,
Andy
Vlahos. Second one from a source very close to Anthony Ulyaris, who of course is a former club captain, probably on his way back. I can't confirm that 100%, but very likely that he'll make his way back from Port Melbourne, coincidentally, to the Olympic Village. He's not at full fitness yet, according to my source, but looks likely to come back. And the third rumour is, and this one is totally out of left field, former striker Nicholas Marinos, who I believe is playing at Richmond Eagles this season, is headed on the way back to the Olympic Village.
J-Fod, you are a font of information. So that's the rumour file. We've given you the results. We've given you the ladder. We've given you an abridged version of Doug Hodgson. This is something you'll never see again. Doug Hodgson, light.
This
Look at
is
his little
podcast
tiny...
history.
It is podcast history. This is the most remarkable, groundbreaking night. We have become the epicentre of new age entertainment. And honestly, hyperbole is everything, you gorgeous people there at home. Now, before we head out for the evening, and we do promise faithfully that we will have a special guest next week. Dougie's returning to the fold, J-Fod, and you know I love you like a brother, and I actually had one of my brothers took in and put into an asylum. So you will be access to needs from now on. I've really appreciated your input, and it's just made me look all that much better working alongside.
Can I do the can I do the odd mini-me appearance, perhaps, over the telephonic means, perhaps?
Look, in more serious terms, John, you've been absolutely gorgeous. I mean,
which is a change for me.
You're not good to look at, you're not well dressed, you've got so many things going against you, but you've risen up and you've grasped the opportunity to replace the collagen-filled Doug Hodgson.
It almost makes me want to come back for more.
How's Sweetie going there, Blakey? Making sure Johnny and Sweetie doing okay?
He's looking sweet as ever.
Sweetie's been fantastic. He had a bit of a hissy fit on Sunday during the live broadcast. But tonight he's been terrific. He's been, you know, the setup of the studio here for the locker room. He's been over by the heater, basically fiddling with his trousers for a significant portion of the program. I will question him about that later on, and also mention to him that it arouses me in ways he'll never understand. No, I'm right there with you.
We're getting that feeling now.
Now we will. So little mini Dougie Hodgson, thank you so much for being gorgeous and coming in to join us on the program. You gorgeous little miniature shaped you. And we will see you on the locker room next week, where we have been assured that we will. And when I say assured, if you measure it by the programs that we've had in the past, assured means there's probably about a 30% chance. But we are really, really positively hopeful.
Send a better offering odds of $10 on that one.
That you actually have more chance of Doug Hodgson actually coming back and looking like Matt Damon. But if all goes... No, Doug. No, I want you to lounge around the house in your pyjamas and just feel well. Honestly, the stress is too much for you, dear. We want to tell you this is just starting to. This is actually denigrate. It really is. So look, I'm Cock-a-Hoop that we will have, and that's either a good or a bad thing. Cock-a-Hoop that we will have the new coach of Heidelberg United, Alexander.
Alexander
on. There's an echo in here. What the hell's happened to this program? This is anyway. Look, we will. Doug, best of luck. Hope you feel better. We'll catch up with you next week. Yeah.
Good night, mate. Take care. Thanks, boys.
See you, Dougie.
Thanks, Robot Dougie. See you, mate.
Good night, Dougie boy.
Okay, we're done. And you have been fabulous.
Thank you.
It's been such fun to work with you. I hope it never happens again. ANZ Bank, Peter Suspension, Prime Plastic Bags, Kinesi Live. We'll be back with Ken Murphy next week. We'll be back on the podcast with the live games on Sunday week, when we'll absolutely pants the Zebras here at the Olympic Village. Please, blessings to you all. Hopefully you have a great week. Hopefully you have a great life, and hopefully you don't measure yourself against Doug Hodgson, because you'll always come up Cock-a-Hoop. No idea where I'm going with that. See you next week.
And I'm not Ben Hur.